Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Ali and let's talk about finance. In today's video, I'm going to be touching on 5 things that people do or don't do that actually ruins their retirement savings. So let's get started. The very first thing that people don't do is take full advantage of the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, or an RRSP. The Registered Retirement Savings Plan allows you to contribute 18% of your annual salary up to a maximum of $31,560, at least in 2024. It allows you to reduce your taxable income in a given year. So for example, if you made $112,000 in a given year, if you contributed $1,000 a month or $12,000 in the year towards the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, then you actually get a $12,000 deduction on your taxable income. So that means that for that $112,000 that you made, you only actually have to pay taxes on $100,000. Now in Ontario, if your income is $112,000, you're actually in a 37% tax bracket. And this is quite a bit of tax. So a great way for you to save on tax is by putting money into the Registered Retirement Savings Plan. And in this example, by putting in $12,000 into an RSP, you will actually receive about $4,700 as a tax refund when you go to file your taxes. So ultimately, you're saving yourself $4,700 in taxes. Now keep in mind that any money that's going into the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, this is money that is tax deferred. So that means that yes, the money that's going in, you get a tax deduction, and any of the money that inside the Registered Retirement Savings Plan that grows because of investments or interest that you earn, that money you don't have to pay any taxes on until retirement comes around and you end up pulling money out of that RSP as an income source for yourself in retirement. Now keep in mind that most people are in a higher tax bracket than when they go to retire. So ultimately what ends up happening is not only do you save on taxes now, you also end up paying less taxes when you go to withdraw that money in retirement. Now the second thing that people do that actually ruins their retirement savings is only using the Registered Retirement Savings Plan. Like I mentioned earlier, any money that you withdraw out of the Registered Retirement Savings Plan is considered taxable income. Now this could be a big issue because you might not have as much flexibility with regards to how much income you need in a given year, because your expenses might be fixed in retirement. So every single year you're gonna need an exact amount, and you're gonna constantly need to take money out of the Registered Retirement Savings Plan and pay taxes on that money before you can actually use it towards your expenses. So a great tool to actually use when you're in retirement is a tax-free savings account. This is a great tool. If you're building out your retirement savings, start putting money off to the side into a tax-free savings account and start investing it. You can actually invest in a tax-free savings account in the same way that you could invest in a Registered Retirement Savings Plan. So by doing this, if in retirement you're trying to reduce the taxable income that you have in a given year, what you can actually do is you can actually pull some money out of a Registered Retirement Savings Plan. You're going to also have your CPP, Canada Pension Plan, and the Old Age Security, or OAS, coming in as well. If you start to pull money out of the tax-free savings account, those can all be multiple sources of income for you. Now keep in mind that the Canada Pension Plan, the Old Age Security, and money pulled out of a pension or out of a Registered Retirement Savings Plan, those are all taxable income. The tax-free savings account is not. So say for example, you need $70,000 a year to survive in retirement and to pay your expenses, have all the fun that you want in retirement. You can actually pull out an income from all of the other sources and say that totals to $60,000 before taxes, but you need $70,000. If you pull out the remaining money from the tax-free savings account, now you have $70,000, but you're only paying taxes on $60,000 of your income. So again, that saves you on taxes in retirement, and it allows you to really take advantage as much as possible and really control your taxable income in retirement. Now the third thing that people are doing or not taking full advantage of to help them build out their retirement savings is maximizing any sort of matching with their employer-sponsored plans. So say for example, you have a pension plan or a Registered Retirement Savings Plan through your employer. There's voluntary contributions that can be made into those plans. Some employers will actually match the voluntary contributions. So again, that's additional free money that the employer is putting into the retirement savings on your behalf just because you're contributing into the plan. If you take full advantage of the matching in an employer-sponsored plan, you could have an additional few $100s, a few $1,000s a year, and that could add up in the span of your entire career. So say for example, you're in your 30s. You're not planning to retire until you're 60. So from the age of 30 until the age of 60, say you end up maximizing the contribution contributions into the employer-sponsored plan. And say, for example, your employer matches up $2,000 a year. That, over the span of 30 years, is $60,000 that you didn't have to contribute to your own retirement savings just because you were maximizing on the benefits that are available in the employer-sponsored plan. And keep in mind that that $60,000 is not going to be $60,000 when you go to retire. It's going to be significantly more because that $60,000 will be invested for you, and that will grow over time. And again, that is additional money that you didn't actually have to contribute. Now, the fourth thing that people are doing that can actually have a really negative impact on their retirement savings is waiting until the last minute to contribute into any sort of retirement savings plan, such as an RSP. You have until the first 60 days of a calendar year to contribute into an RSP in order for you to get a tax deduction for the previous year. So for example, in 2025, we could contribute up until the end of February, so then we can get a tax deduction for 2024. Now, by waiting until the last minute to make this contribution into your RSP, you could actually be losing out on a lot of different things. One is you might be losing out on some potential opportunities when it comes to investing. There have been studies that have shown that the amount of time in the market really does have an impact. Timing the market never does as well as the amount of time that you have in the market. So by contributing slowly over the entire year, then you will probably take advantage of some opportunities that you may not have come across if you just invested right at the very end, just so then you can get that tax deduction. Another thing to keep in mind as well is investments, they go up and down in value. So if you're buying it slowly throughout the entire year, you're doing something called dollar cost averaging. So for example, you might buy an investment when it's at $10, and then another time where it's at $11, and another time when it's at $9. All of a sudden throughout the entire year, you're averaging your cost when it comes to the actual investments. Whereas if you were to just invest right at the end of the year, right at the end of the RSP season, you will have to buy it at whatever cost it is at that time, and you might not be able to average out. So you may actually end up buying an investment at higher than what you could have if you just bought it slowly over the entire year. Another thing to keep in mind is if you wait until the very end so then you can contribute, you might actually be under a lot of stress because you want to make sure that you get this contribution done. You don't really end up making the best decision with regards to which investment and how much to put into your RSP at that time. Now, the very last thing that a lot of people tend to do, which could ruin their retirement savings, is being too heavily invested in one particular region. As Canadians, we love Canada. But the problem is when you go to invest and you're primarily invested in Canada, you don't get to take advantage of all of the different investment opportunities around the world. At the end of the day, Canada is only 3 to 4% of the world economy. So that means there's still 96, 97% of the world that you're not fully exposed to if you're just investing in Canada. Now, keep this in mind as well though. It's also important that you do not invest heavily in a particular region altogether. So for example, the US is a very popular place to invest into. Yes, there have been a lot of opportunities over the last 20 years to invest in the US. And I'm not saying that it's not a great place to invest. However, we do have to keep in mind that if you're not diversified across different regions in the world, as well as different industries, you might get slapped in the face if one of those industries or one of those regions in the world are heavily impacted and negatively impacted and your investments follow suit. So there you have it, guys. Those are some mistakes that people make that have a negative impact on their retirement savings. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends and family. At the end of the day, this is all information that everybody needs to know. If you have any specific topics that you'd like me to discuss in a future video, leave them in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to make a video on that specific topic in the future. As always, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one.